Imagine you've been with the same car insurance company for 7 years. You pay your bills on time, you've never had an accident, and you consider yourself a valued member. You assume your loyalty is being rewarded with the best possible rates, but the reality is far darker. If you performed a forensic audit on your insurer's pricing algorithm, you would likely find that you are paying 30 to 40% more than a new customer with the exact same risk profile. In the financial world, this is known as the loyalty tax. It is a sophisticated profit extraction mechanism designed to punish you for your consistency while subsidizing the massive discounts offered to complete strangers. Today, we are breaking down one of the most hidden leaks of middle-class capital. We will identify the industries where the loyalty tax is most aggressive and explain why the system is structurally rigged to reward switchers who constantly jump ship and penalize loyalists who stay. The fundamental lie of modern consumerism is that loyalty is a two-way street. We have been conditioned to believe that long-term member status earns us privileges and savings. However, in the data-driven economy of 2026, loyalty is viewed by corporations as nothing more than a lack of better options. Companies use internal account profitability models to categorize their customers based on their financial inertia, the psychological friction that prevents you from opening a new account or switching providers. If you have been with a bank or a cell phone carrier for a decade, their algorithms have already flagged you as a low-churn asset. They know you are unlikely to leave over a $15 increase in your monthly bill because the effort of porting your data and resetting your autopay feels like an insurmountable task. This allows companies to engage in what economists call dynamic price discrimination. They don't have one price for everyone. They have a price calculated specifically for your tolerance level. The introductory offers you see on billboards are loss leaders designed to attract yield-sensitive customers who are actively hunting for a better deal. But once you are inside the system, the loyalty tax begins to accrue. This process is called price walking. Every 12 months, the company nudges your rate up by a small, almost imperceptible amount, say 5%. They are essentially testing your boiling point. They want to see how high they can raise the toll before you finally build your own bridge and walk away. The scale of this extraction is staggering. In the banking sector alone, institutions collect billions of dollars every year from customers who are too inert to move their cash to a higher-yielding institution. If you keep $50,000 in a standard savings account yielding 0.5%, while a high-yield account across the street is paying 5%, you are paying a loyalty tax of $2,400 every single year. You aren't being rewarded for your history with the bank. You are donating your capital to their profit spread so they can offer sign-up bonuses to people they've never met. This exploitation isn't limited to finance. It is baked into your utilities, your internet, your gym memberships, and your streaming services. The average American household underestimates their total subscription costs by more than $130 a month. Most of that gap consists of zombie expenses, prices that have crept upward over time while the user was asleep at the wheel. In the next part, we are going to look at the negotiation surface and explain why the moment you become a high-value asset is the exact moment the bank starts to fear you. We will show you how to use your own data to flip the script and make your loyalty a problem for the corporation rather than a tax on your future. To understand the mechanics of how the loyalty tax is enforced, we have to look at what industry insiders call the negotiation surface. This is the invisible boundary where a company decides whether to treat you as a customer to be served or a resource to be harvested. Most people spend their entire lives on the wrong side of this surface because they believe that being a good customer means being quiet and compliant. Imagine two individuals, Sarah and Mark, walking into their local bank branch to dispute an unexpected $25 service fee. Sarah has been with the bank for 12 years. She has a balance of $900 in her checking account and no other products with the institution. When she reaches the manager's desk, the bank's internal algorithm has already performed a lifetime value calculation. It sees a customer with high financial inertia and low profitability potential. To the bank, Sarah is a captive consumer. The manager is polite, but the answer is firm. The fee was clearly outlined in the updated terms of service, and it cannot be waived. Sarah leaves frustrated, but the bank knows she won't move her account because the effort of switching her direct deposits and automated bill pays is worth more than $25 of her time. Now look at Mark. Mark has only been with the bank for 3 years, but he maintains a balance of $50,000 across a high-yield savings account and a basic brokerage sub-account. The moment Mark's profile is opened on the manager's screen, a retention alert flashes. Mark is on the other side of the negotiation surface. The algorithm flags him as a high-value asset at risk. The manager knows that if Mark closes his account, the branch's quarterly deposit targets will take a measurable hit. Before Mark even finishes explaining the dispute, the fee is waived, and the manager offers him a premier status upgrade with a lower interest rate on his existing auto loan. This isn't a reward for Mark's character. It is a cold, mathematical response to his leverage. This leads us directly into the trap of privileged accounts. In 2026, many major institutions, from banks to software providers, have created Premier, Gold, or Platinum tiers for their loyal users. These tiers are marketed as an exclusive reward for your consistency, offering perks like waived wire fees, reimbursed ATM charges, or priority customer support. However, from the corporation's perspective, these accounts are actually a defensive perimeter. The company is essentially identifying the customers who have enough capital or intelligence to realize they are being overcharged. By giving you a gold card or a pro badge, they are offering you a small concession to prevent you from looking at the competition. They stop charging you the standard fees because they are terrified you will move your business to an institution that doesn't charge those fees to anyone. The loyalty tax is the price you pay for not having the leverage to force the company to be fair. If you are paying a $15 monthly maintenance fee while trying to build wealth, you are simply paying a lack of options tax. The most insidious part of the loyalty tax, however, is what technologists call digital friction. In the early days of the internet, switching services was easy. Today, companies spend millions of dollars designing user interfaces that make leaving as painful as possible. Have you ever tried to cancel a subscription only to find that the cancel button is hidden behind 4 submenus, or that you are required to call a representative during limited business hours to confirm your decision? This is not bad design. It is a calculated profit strategy. Banks have taken this to an extreme in the 2026 economy. They have introduced security pauses and extra verification windows that conveniently appear only when you are attempting to move large sums of money to an outside institution. They frame it as protection against fraud, but the underlying goal is to slow down the exit of capital. They know that if they can introduce just 2 or 3 days of delay, the psychological momentum of the customer often fades. You become inert again, and the loyalty tax continues to drain your account month after month. We also see this play out in the world of credit. Most people assume that being a long-term credit card holder earns them a lower APR, or better rewards. But the credit card industry has a specific name for customers who use the card and pay it off in full every month. They call them deadbeats. Why? Because they aren't profitable. The customers the banks loyalize and target with the most aggressive marketing are the revolvers, the people who carry a balance and pay 24% interest. The loyalty tax in the credit world is the high interest rate you are charged once the bank knows you have become habituated to using their credit as an emergency fund rather than building a cash buffer. The scale of this extraction is almost impossible to grasp until you see the aggregate data. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, banks collect billions of dollars in overdraft and maintenance fees annually. But roughly 80% of those fees are paid by just 9% of account holders. The system is not casting a wide net. It is surgically targeting the most vulnerable and the most inert. By reaching a threshold of liquidity, whether it is $20,000, $30,000, or $50,000, you officially move from being a revenue source to being a supplier of capital. You stop being the product they extract from and start being the counterparty they have to negotiate with. The goal is to build your own bridge so that you never have to pay the toll road's loyalty tax again. In the final part of this forensic audit, we are going to look at the sovereignty protocol. I will show you the exact steps to identify your hidden zombie expenses, how to automate your exit from high-tax loyalty loops, and why the most powerful thing you can do for your net worth in 2026 is to become the deadbeat the banking system is so afraid of. The final step in breaking the cycle of the loyalty tax is the implementation of what we call the sovereignty protocol. To stop being a source of easy revenue for multi-billion-dollar corporations, you must move from a state of financial passivity to a state of strategic aggression. You have to realize that in the 2026 economy, the good customer is the one who is exploited, while the difficult customer, the one who understands the math and demands a fair deal, is the only one who actually builds wealth. Step 1 of the protocol is the forensic expense audit. You cannot fix what you cannot see. As we discussed, the average American household is hemorrhaging over $130 a month in zombie expenses. These are subscriptions to apps you used once, gym memberships you haven't visited since January, and insurance premiums that have price-walked their way into absurdity. You must pull your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements and highlight every recurring charge. If you haven't derived measurable value from a service in the last 30 days, cancel it immediately. Don't worry about the digital friction or the 4 submenus they will hide the cancel button behind. Navigate the friction once, and you recover hundreds of dollars a year in pure capital. Step 2 is the yield capture and fee migration. This is where you address the banking industry's specific version of the loyalty tax. If you have any significant amount of cash sitting in a traditional savings account earning 0.5%, you are voluntarily paying a tax on not knowing better. In the current environment, the difference between a legacy bank's rate and a high-yield savings account or a treasury money market fund can be as high as 5%. On $20,000, that is a $1,000 difference per year. On $50,000, it is $2,500. Your bank will not call you to suggest you move your money. Their business model depends on your financial inertia. Move your capital to an institution that pays you for its use. Furthermore, perform a fee audit. If you are paying a monthly maintenance fee for a checking account, you are effectively paying a penalty for being loyal to a system that doesn't value you. Step 3 is the negotiation from strength. Once you have identified a high-tax loyalty loop, like your car insurance or your internet provider, you must leverage the negotiation surface. Before you call to cancel, research the introductory offers being given to new customers. Use these numbers as your benchmark. When you speak to a representative, do not ask for a discount. State that you have found a documented alternative that is 30% cheaper and ask them to match it. If they refuse, follow through. The power of the walk-away position is the only language these algorithms understand. Remember, it is more expensive for a company to acquire a new customer than to retain an old one. By proving you are no longer inert, you force the system to spend its acquisition budget on you. Step 4 is becoming the deadbeat. This is perhaps the most powerful psychological shift of all. In the credit card industry, a customer who pays their balance in full every month and refuses to pay interest is derisively called a deadbeat. Your goal is to earn that title. Use the credit products for the rewards and the protection, but never give the bank a single cent of interest. The moment you carry a balance at 24% interest, you are paying the ultimate loyalty tax. You are subsidizing the reward points of the wealthy while keeping yourself in a state of financial fragility. By reaching these thresholds of liquidity, the $10,000, $20,000, and $50,000 marks, you effectively build your own bridge. You move from a state of dependence, where you accommodate the bank's terms, to a state of optionality, where the bank's terms are simply inputs you evaluate against better alternatives. Wealth is built in the gap between what you earn and what you keep. The loyalty tax is designed to shrink that gap by a few percentage points every year, hoping you won't notice until a decade has passed and you are hundreds of thousands of dollars behind where you should be. The corporations want your inertia. They want your loyalty. They want you to believe that being a long-term member means something. It doesn't. What means something is the number in your brokerage account. What means something is your ability to walk away from a job or a service provider that no longer serves you. What means something is your financial sovereignty. Stop being the reliable data point in a profit extraction model. Start being the scientist of your own future. Audit the leaks, capture the yield, and refuse to pay the tax on being a good customer. Because in the math of building wealth, loyalty to yourself is the only loyalty that pays dividends. If this breakdown of the hidden costs of modern life changed how you look at your bank statement, hit that subscribe button. We are dissecting the hidden mechanics of money every single week to help you escape the traps and build a life of genuine freedom. I will see you in the next one.